the Sire. We talk comics, movies, TV, and pop culture every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Sire Studios digital network. That's youtube.com/Sire Studios, facebook.com/Secrets of the Sire, twitch.tv/Secrets of the Sire, and secretsofthesire.com. You can download this as a podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Google Play, everywhere podcasts are available. You can find us. Tonight's episode, we've got Baby Yoda, we've got the Snyder Cut, and we watch more Watchmen, and we welcome Comics Beat journalist extraordinaire Heidi MacDonald on to Spin the Racks. I am your host, Michael Dolce, and as always, joined by my cohort in crime, the Lord of the live stream himself, Mr. Hassan Godwin. How are you doing, sir? First of all, happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday, Michael Dolce.
And happy birthday, Hassan Godwin. We didn't mention it last Wednesday, mainly because I'm trying to forget my birthday, but we both celebrated.
Wonder why? Why could that? What's the reason for that?
Last week, so that was good.
Yeah, as we say pretty much every year, we go every year. The ironic thing about this is that Michael Dolce's birthday is on November 15th, and mine is on the 16th.
Yeah,
and we did not plan it that way.
No, we did
one
not.
Time we had an intern whose birthday was on the 13th.
Yeah,
we had a just an army of Scorpios.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We are the progressives. Yeah. Got a couple of house cleaning items or housekeeping items to attend to. First of all, this is episode 197. Yes, so join us December 11th. We will be broadcasting from the Starlight Runner Studios. We've got Fabian Nicieza, Steele Philippic, and Mr. Jeff Gomez, Transmedia superstar, changing lives with Transmedia too. There's a whole lot of stuff going on with that company that is just awesome. That will be our 200th episode spectacular. Unless they cancel on us, in which case we'll just be me and you. But no, I think that's it. I think that's it. We are all set to broadcast there. December 28th, we're going to do our Star Wars live show. It's a live event. It's a Saturday night. Christmas and
all
New
the
Year's.
Christmas sales, man. We're going to miss all the Christmas sales in the 28th.
Christmas and New Year's happen to fall on a Wednesday, so we get an extended break, which is pretty awesome. But the 28th, we'll be broadcasting live from Funny Business in Nyack, New York. We're going to have Darren Sanchez from Marvel Comics on to join us for that. We're going to do a live event. It's going to be streamed only to our patrons. And then January 1st, you will get to listen and watch as we stream it out to the rest of the world. But we will be off, which is the best part. That's the best part. And finally, coming next week, next Tuesday to be exact, Descendant Kickstarter finally launching. We pushed it back because of the Indiegogo with Sire from a few weeks ago. Didn't want to truncate the masses with lots of stuff. So
don't want to truncate those masses.
That is our housekeeping items. But tonight we start with our Sire Bites. Marvel's Runaways canceled on Hulu. Season 3 will be its last. This is from ScreenRant.com. It broke on Monday. Marvel's Runaways is canceled at Hulu. The series is set to end with Season 3 next month. As the new trailer is a few years ago, Marvel TV was rapidly expanding with series set up at ABC, Netflix, Hulu, and Freeform. However, in the last year, a number of those shows have been canceled or confirmed to be ending. All of the Marvel Netflix series, from Daredevil to Punisher, were canceled.
Wow, yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It was a Marvel apocalypse.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. set to end. And despite it seeming like Marvel TV's output at Hulu would increase, it seems the company is culling its live-action streaming shows there as well.
Yeah, they had Cloak and Dagger,
Ghost
right?
Rider, yeah, Cloak and Dagger was on Freeform. That's being canceled. Ghost Rider,
but then the consolation prize for Cloak and Dagger was that they would be joining the Runaways.
Yeah.
And now you're announcing that the Runaways is over. So
all
right.
Basically, what it comes down to, Feige's role at Marvel is expanding, and Marvel TV head Jeff Loeb is reportedly on his way out. Now, Jeff Loeb is a comics veteran writer as well too, so it's just interesting to see.
Was he involved with Heroes? Refresh my memory.
Oh yeah. I think so. I think he was either a writer or executive producer, something to that extent.
Yeah. Tim Krim was a show creator, but I think Jeff Loeb came in to do the writing. I think for season 2.
Yeah, and that was a bad season too. Funny part about all this, though, right? I mean, what's the legacy of the Marvel Studios on TV before it goes to this Disney Plus and under the actual umbrella? I mean, I'm looking at this like a lot of wasted potential, I guess is the best way to put it. I thought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., when it first came out, I was like, this could be an actual like TV series that's a TV series but happens to be a Marvel show, and I thought it had a lot of potential. I feel like it always bounced around and never knew what it wanted to be. It kept changing all the time. The Netflix shows, look, I still haven't finished most of those Netflix shows for Marvel. So it's like at some point,
the Netflix shows were an interesting phenomenon where they were good. If they all had decided to stop at 8 episodes,
yes,
to be better, yes. If they had decided to be better, they'd be better.
Yeah.
If they had decided to stop at 8 episodes or maybe 10, I think a lot of them would have been better. I remember the first season of Jessica Jones I thought was really good. The first season of Daredevil was really good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed the first season of Luke Cage. The problem is Daredevil didn't have this problem, but definitely Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. They went on a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially if you're in like the Jessica Jones situation where you got a villain like Kilgrave, who's a great, David Tennant. It's like just a fantastic actor. But after 13 hours of trying to chase this guy, it just starts to look like you can't catch him.
Yeah.
It's not like he's some genius mastermind that keeps getting away from you. It just more looks like you keep dropping the ball in your opportunities of getting hold of him. And that would have been a lot less if they had only maybe done 8 episodes instead of 13. But then again, Defenders did 8 episodes, and that didn't turn out too good either. So yeah, there's a lot of I think those first seasons were under the complete MCU banner, and those first seasons were really strong. They lasted a little long, but they were really strong. And then when the MCU and Marvel Television split, you could see like almost a quality drop.
Yeah.
A very steep quality drop.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel as if they kind of let something get away. I'm excited for Disney Plus. I'm actually, especially, and we'll talk Mandalorian later, but, with just having Feige kind of like overseeing everything, I feel there'll be a little more cohesiveness that we did not get to see.
Hope he's got good lieutenants, because that's too much on his plate.
Gosh,
that's too much on one man's plate.
Oh yeah, and he's doing the Star Wars movie too. It's really,
that's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. Predictions sure to go wrong. We'll tackle some more stuff with Marvel down the line as they roll out their Disney Plus offerings. All right, Justice League. Zack Snyder, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot call for release of fabled Snyder Cut. Despite the push for the filmmaker's version of this film, insiders tell The Hollywood Reporter no announcement is imminent. A fabled director's cut of 2017's Justice League got a boost on Sunday, the second anniversary of the film's release. Zack Snyder stepped down as director of Justice League after the death of his daughter, so he'd be with his family. Director Joss Whedon boarded the Warner Brothers DC superhero team-up movie to write new scenes and complete the project through reshoots. It earned a disappointing $657 million globally, and fans have always wondered what could have been. Yet the call for the Snyder Cut has continued to capture the imagination of a segment of fandom for the past 2 years, and in recent weeks it's come to the forefront once again. Jason Momoa added fuel to the fire by reiterating comments he's made over the years, saying he'd seen the cut. And on Sunday, Gal Gadot, who played Wonder Woman, tweeted, "Release the Snyder Cut." The film's cyborg actor Ray Fisher also lent his support. A few hours later, Snyder himself retweeted Gadot, and Batman actor Ben Affleck added his voice to the mix soon after. What's the harm in releasing this at this point? Or is DC just kind of moved on?
There's no harm in it. And I think DC would be smart to release it, especially now with their colossal win with Joker, right?
$1 billion.
Yeah, $1 billion. So it would behoove them to make the fans happy again. I think the fans would would show their appreciation. You'd make a little extra revenue, because I don't think it's going to be like a
this
windfall.
Is like the equivalent of like releasing the Roswell files or something. Like I feel like it's this mythical thing that is just built up in people's imagination. They're going to watch it and be like, oh yeah.
That doesn't matter. I mean, but speaking strictly as from a marketing sense, as we had just yelled and screamed about it, it doesn't really matter how the film is received. I'm just saying, would it be a good business deal for them?
Oh yeah.
At this moment, I don't think they could lose. I don't think they've got a lot to lose. They're not going in that direction anymore. They're not counting on that being a component part in whatever universe they're trying to build anymore. So it's not really going to set them back to put that forward.
They have the streaming app too. They have their DC app. I mean, wouldn't it make sense to get subscribers just to put it on that? I mean, you don't even have to make a big deal.
I guess so, but they haven't really been attracting a much attention to it.
No.
So I mean, it would just kind of come out and be lost in the ether. I'm talking about just make a big deal about releasing it. Release it for Christmas.
No, I know. Make a big deal, but release it on the app. Get some people to sign up. All access.
Nobody's gonna sign up just to.
I don't know.
No one's gonna pay for another app just to see the Snyder Cut.
The cool part about Hulu not showing all these Marvel shows, I don't have to renew Hulu. I kind of got to a point. I'm like, I don't even know why I even have Hulu. I'm just wasting $5 a month now.
Yeah, we're a lot of people are starting to do the aggregation on how much these streaming services are costing.
Yeah.
And they're cheap, but then they creep up every month.
Mm-hmm.
They'll send you a little notice. Oh, by the way, we're going to charge you more,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's up to you to unsubscribe or whatever and decide that you want to go without. So it's kind of, we were supposed to be cutting the cable, man.
Yeah.
And we've all made it worse for ourselves, unfortunately.
Chime in. Let us know. Do you want to see the Snyder Cut? It's a matter of personal curiosity at this point. I had no interest in whatsoever, but now it has again grown to this mythical level proportion that I'm like, all right, I want to be able to watch it and be like, oh yeah, I don't even know what would we even gain after all said and done. All you'd be sitting there going is like, man, they effed up that too.
Well, I mean, I guess the conventional wisdom is that Batman v Superman director's cut shed so much more light on what the attempt of the movie was. The movie actually made sense. It's a better received version of that movie, not a great movie. Yeah. So, they're hoping for a lightning strike twice with Justice League.
Let us know what you think when we come back. It's Baby Yoda time, baby. Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda. And we break down the best babies that we've ever seen on TV when we come back. Hi, folks. This is Michael Dolce, host of the Secrets of the Sire podcast and co-creator of Descendant. It's hard to believe, but it has been 10 years since we unleashed Descendant onto the comics world back in 2009 through Image Comics. Covers by Tyler Kirkham and art by Mariano Navarro. Marcus Perry and I co-creating the book. Descendant tells a tale of a counter-terrorist agent, Rain Santiago, who's secretly the descendant of an Incan goddess. She's got these crazy powers she can't control and a past she's been running from her entire life until someone from that past emerges and outs her to her team. With the book being currently adapted into a screenplay and the issues practically sold out across the country, felt like it was the perfect time to collect the series into an 80-page trade paperback. And now you can get in on the action. We've got some great rewards, including bookmarks, buttons, pins, sketches, signed comics, and also one that includes our entire lineup of Sire Studios books, which it means The Sire, Mainstream, Undone, and more. And best of all, the proceeds from this Kickstarter, after the cost of printing, shipping, and for the products themselves, will go directly to artist Mariano Navarro, who stepped up big time and made this thing possible back then. Marcus and I were in awe every week when we would see new pages come in the inbox. And it was truly an honor and a privilege to work with him, and we hope to work with him again soon. So jump on board this 10-day Kickstarter. It's going to run all the way through Cyber Monday and into December. It's only 10 days, so get in quick and help make this happen. Go to SireStudiosInc.com/Kickstarter for more info and to back this incredible project. Goes live November 26th. Thank you. Really appreciate it, and I really hope to make this happen. Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talking comics, movies, TV, and pop culture. Secrets of the Sire is brought to you by all of our beloved patrons, dedicated fans, Tom Osa, Craig Caruso, Einar Peterson, Matt Byer, Ashley Haikai, Oma Morales, Brian Phillips, Steve Ovecki, our program director, Stephanie Dolce, and as always, our Uber fan, Christina Dolce. Shout out to Craig Caruso, who's a new dad. Congratulations. You can kiss sleep goodbye. All right. Here we go. We are talking about the newest Disney sensation, The Mandalorian. Last week we were very hush-hush about it. This week, you can't you can't browse the internet and not see a Baby Yoda. Even my wife yesterday was just like, "Oh yeah, that's that new show with the thing. Yeah, I saw that." And she just does not watch TV. Period. She doesn't watch Star Wars.
You don't let your wife watch TV? That's
cruel, I let her do whatever she wants. She chooses not to. She is a bookworm. She will literally put her face in
she's
book.
one of those readers. Ugh.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Man. Sorry, dude. Sorry.
We talked about The Mandalorian. Look, generally, I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I think it's very well received. I think it's people are very excited about it. It's very cool to see it. I found this interesting article, though, and I thought this was kind of a neat take before we count down our favorite babies. And I'm going to tell you why I actually think the Baby Yoda irks me in a way that it reminds me of a Simpsons episode that you didn't watch because you don't watch The Simpsons. This is from Hollywood Reporter, The Mandalorian and When Star Wars is an Experiment. The original trilogy of Star Wars movies is, for the most part, straightforward when it comes to the genre, purposely patterning themselves after adventure movies of old with a purposeful mix of daring-do, sword fights, and romance. Despite the title, they're pretty far from war movies, and for all the suggested danger, there's very true risk on the show. Rogue One, for all its faults, is the first Star Wars movie to actually feel as if the second half of the franchise title wasn't an exaggeration. Solo had remnants of a comedy movie when it finally made it to screen, and The Mandalorian is very clearly a Western dressed up in the alien costuming of the larger Star Wars mythology. For a property as valuable as Star Wars, it's been a surprise to see such experimentation done in public, not to mention presented as completed work as opposed to happening in the background before being refined. Basically what it's saying is
it's full of crap.
They still don't know what Star Wars... No, I think there's a very valid point here. Disney doesn't know what Star Wars is.
I get that.
Trying to figure it out as they kind of go along.
I appreciate his assessment of it, which is correct. But The Mandalorian being a Western, which is true, is nothing new to Star Wars. The Star Wars is a Western. The whole first movie was a Western.
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo is a cowboy.
Sure.
With a vest, low-slung gun in a saloon. You know, I mean, it doesn't get too much more cowboy than that. You know,
mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's always been a Western. You know, to an extent, and then it's always been a hodgepodge of genres. You know, it's a samurai story, it's a Western, it's a war movie, it's it's Guns and Navarone, it's a bunch of things. So I don't. It's always been kind of experimental.
I guess in context, I guess in context,
melange of other genres.
Right. I think in context too. I mean, when Star Wars first came out, there's nothing else like it, even though it was patterned after something that had been done before.
Right.
So,
which I'm jealous of because it's so hard to do something that's never been done before.
Right.
I mean, we just do not live in that age, you know.
Right.
So okay, but continue. You had more.
No, that was it. I just
but
thought
you were thinking about the Yoda thing, right? You were gonna.
Oh well, Yoda, yes. We're gonna get into Yoda for a second, but I just think it's really interesting to see that this article was kind of spelling out what we kind of realized at this point. Like and it's hard. It's kind of hard to believe, right? Because I feel like every diehard fan who loved Star Wars has seen the output that Disney has done and been like, it's amazing how you can F up something that's easy to not get wrong. Okay, and Mandalorian is actually, I think, the first time people are saying, "Oh, we're going to come back to Star Wars now."
Here is in a nutshell, right? Very simple, very, 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 very simple. The most important through line to anything, and definitely for Star Wars, has been story, right?
Mm-hmm.
The best way to codify your story is with characters.
Yeah.
Okay? You get a good story, you get sharp characters that have wants and needs and meaning and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People will follow them. Mandalorian, very obvious, very simple situation. And then you have one center character. So people were like, I like that guy. And I like the setting. I like this.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And that's why everybody likes The Mandalorian. That's kind of why a lot of people liked Rogue One, even though the characters were very two-dimensional. It was it's very weird. It's
just
about
very
one
easy
person
to jump onto.
Yeah, it was about one person, about Jyn Erso, and about her dad.
Yeah.
And we got to find these plans, and we got to go to this place. We got to blow this thing up. Solo, not so much like that. Solo's kind of all over the place. It is about Han Solo,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about Han Solo wanting to go save his girlfriend, but he gets sidetracked in so many ways, and then you get, and I really like Solo.
Yeah.
I think Solo is still a better movie, a better Star Wars movie than The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, in my personal opinion. And again, it's about one person. He's got one goal. The only problem is that that movie is so overwrought with nostalgia hits that it stops becoming a movie and just becomes like a puzzle piece. Like, oh, that's how he got his gun. Oh, that's how he met Chewie. Oh, that's how he met Lando. Oh, that's how he got the Falcon.
Yeah.
And so it stops being a story, and it just becomes a checklist.
Yeah.
Of nostalgia hits. So that's unfortunate because there's a lot of good stuff in Solo, and I like the pacing of it. I like the look of that movie. I like the speed of it. There's a lot of really good things in Solo. There's a lot of good things in Solo. But the reason why, even though that movie didn't do very well in the box office, it is still better perceived and received by fans than, say, the other two movies is because it's a story about one particular person trying to do one thing. What's The Force Awakens about?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Nobody knows. They're not even looking for Luke. Like Finn, Rey, and Poe aren't even looking for Luke. They're not even on that mission.
Right.
Han Solo's not looking for Luke. Maz Kanata is not looking for Luke. Leia's looking for Luke. Leia and Poe are looking for Luke. And Poe disappears in the beginning of the film and doesn't come back until the very end of the film when they finally have all the information so they can go find Luke. And they still don't go after Luke because they got to blow up the Starkiller base. So there's none of the pieces fit.
Right.
And then suddenly there's a lightsaber battle between Rey, who's suddenly a Jedi, and Kylo, who's been a Jedi. And I'm not even talking about the Mary Sue aspect of it. I'm just talking about, where did she get a lightsaber? Why are they having a lightsaber fight? What? She doesn't even want to be there.
Right.
She's got no interest in being there. How did this all happen?
Yeah.
And the same thing for the Last Jedi is just, it's a bad story in and of itself. Nobody really wants anything other than to get away from this really slow moving chase. And, Rey wants Luke to train her, and Luke doesn't want to train her. So she eventually leaves without getting trained to go try to save Kylo for some reason.
Right.
Because they've been Skyping. And then they end up murdering the Emperor and then getting into this big throne room battle for no reason. It's like, wait a minute, none of these pieces tie in together.
It's almost like there's a song that's being played and they're just hitting the cymbals at all the right times when you're supposed to, but there's no emotion behind the song. Like the lyrics don't match. And it's like
this.
It comes to a crescendo
And you as an intellectual, you intellectualize, this is supposed to work. This music is supposed to move me. Right. These images are supposed to be moving. And none of this is working. And I don't know why. Mandalorian, the first episode.
Working? Go ahead.
The first episode, go get this guy. Done. Second episode, go fulfill this mission. Find Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Done.
Everyone is talking about Baby Yoda, and here's my big gripe with Baby Yoda, and it's not a genuine I'm upset with it. He's cute as hell. Don't get me wrong, I get it, everyone. But I'm getting texts, Baby Yoda! Exclamation point. Like people haven't even heard from it in years. They're like, Baby Yoda, and I'm like, Like, who is this?
It's like your insurance agent. Hey, it's baby, Mr. Phipps. What are you? What?
It's like, all
I
right,
fired you 10 years ago.
I get it, but like everyone went nuts with the Ewoks. Oh, the Ewoks ruined this.
Well, the porks
and right, the porks, and it's like, but for some reason, Baby Yoda, and it does. And I look, I'm condemning it at the same time. I get it because it tugs at me too to see a Baby Yoda for some reason. I don't know why, but part of me is just like make up your damn mind. It's like that Simpsons episode where Quimby comes out and he's just like, "You people don't know what you want. Give us hell, Quimby! Yay!"
I actually remember that one.
From a show you watch, liar.
Yes, no, that was back when I watched it. That was from years ago. That old one.
Now there's tons of rumors. I don't want to skip over the importance of Baby Yoda just to gripe about
people
the fact
are forgetting
that
about Yaddle though. Why are they forgetting about Yaddle?
Who's Yaddle? Who's Yaddle?
Yaddle was the female Yoda on the Jedi Council in the prequels.
What?
You don't even know about Yaddle. That's funny. Episode 1. Jedi Council, there is a female Yoda, and her name is Yaddle.
Did they spawn Baby Yoda?
Don't know. Probably not. Hopefully not. Well,
the timeline would work.
That would
the
fit. That would work. That's the son of Yoda. We figured it out.
I
gotta watch. You heard it here. Secrets of the Side first. We figured it out.
I gotta watch episode 1 again. Which, by the way, people really slam that movie. It is much better than Attack of the Clones. Like, so much better.
Attack of the Clones. No.
Attack of the Clones for 17 minutes is one of the most awesome Star Wars movies I've ever seen. The problem is the 17 minutes comes after the first 2 hours. And then ends. I remember sitting in the theater being like, oh, and it's like they just fought and they get, I'm like, oh yeah, Clone Wars is about to start. This is it. This is what I'm waiting for.
Credits.
Yeah, credits. I'm like, what the?
There are things in Attack of the Clones that are really good, and story-wise, there's a lot of useful moments in Attack of the Clones. It was until The Last Jedi my least favorite Star Wars movie.
Yes.
Yes. Which is funny because Revenge of the Sith has become my most favorite Star Wars movie. But
insane. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care what you say. I had this long conversation about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull recently, and they were like, and I'm like, dude, it's not even good enough.
That was last week's episode.
Yeah, it's not, but it wasn't you. Trust me.
I just keep bringing it back up.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't even good enough to earn that much dislike, and I don't think it's a bad movie. Right. But I'm saying, like, it's the same with the prequels. Like, okay, if they're bad movies, fine, but you know, it's been 20. You would have moved on by now if it was just a bad movie. Nobody's talking about, you know, the other bad movies that we've seen this year. You know, no one's going to be talking about.
I would sit there
Terminator. Terminator Dark Fate.
No.
10 years from now going, I can't believe how that destroyed my childhood. No one's going to be doing that. So that's what I'm talking about.
I don't understand how anything can destroy anyone's childhood because your childhood happened. But anyway, no, Sith is Sith is the best of the prequels. There's no question about that.
Here we go. Go ahead.
And I can actually, when it's on, I can watch it. And I could sit and watch it. I've done that. I've done it where I've sat there like on TBS or TNT. I'll be flipping channels and it's like, I can watch this. So it's not horrible. But I will go back and watch the prequels. I will watch episode 1 on my new Disney Plus streaming app. Which
episode 1 is not bad. It's very subdued, very slow, very methodical.
Are you at all concerned that Disney owns everything? Like these are like things that I've been thinking about as I'm raking leaves because it's the fall. Like I'm like Disney owns like everything now.
It's like George Carlin. This is what I think about when I'm at home and the power goes out.
Yeah, like part of me is like, there's some amazing stuff on this app.
I am not concerned because I never owned any of it anyway. So I mean, like, who cares who has it as long as it's available? What's great about Disney is that they're making it available. If they had owned it
There is
and put it on a
something.
shelf somewhere and locked it, I'd be upset that
There's
they owned
just
it.
something about one company shaping the minds of
It shouldn't be that way.
our
We have
generations.
laws. This is America. We have laws
know.
against monopolies, but heck, F the law, apparently, because Disney is eating your lunch right now. And
they're cooking our lunch and
Yeah.
chewing it for us,
right in front of
putting
us.
it into our mouth,
eat,
and we are excreting
eat
Disney.
more, and you want more.
Real quick, Baby Yoda's sweeping the nation, but is it the best baby? I actually compiled a list of best babies. Okay, Baby Groot, Baby Yoda, greater than or less than Baby Groot?
Oh, that's a tough one.
I gotta
Baby
go.
Yoda is less than.
I gotta go at this point. 2 episodes in, less than.
So
Boss Baby,
greater than.
Yeah, I'll give you that too. Baby Sinclair from the dinosaurs,
greater than. I couldn't.
Much greater than. I hated that kid.
I hate Baby Sinclair. Gotta love me. I hate that. No. Gotta love me.
That's a drop right there.
No.
Maggie Simpson.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's a tough one, right? I know it does. She doesn't have a baby in her title.
Maggie Simpson's not cute though. Maggie Simpson's the brain trust of the Simpsons, right?
Yes.
So she's technically she's on a higher level. I won't compete with cuteness. I still think Baby Yoda greater than, but only because of only categorically.
Yes. Yeah. How is Baby Yoda using the Force though? I know he's 50 years old and everything, but like, is it just a given?
Yoda, man.
But is it just a given? The rumor is he's a clone of Yoda.
Okay. Cool.
He's a clone of Yoda.
We got ourselves another Yoda.
Yeah, I know.
More Yoda.
I know. All right, chime in.
Well, where is he? Where is he in the sequels?
I know, right?
What happened? Where is he in the sequels?
Episode 9 hasn't happened yet. All right, give us your take. Best babies that are out there. I want to know: is he the son of Yoda? Is he the clone of Yoda? Let us know your thoughts. We'll read off some stuff next week about that.
And let us know why Baby Groot's still better than Baby Yoda.
Baby Groot's still better than Baby Yoda. That's a tough one.
Baby Groot is cute as F, man. It's and he dances. Baby Yoda does not dance yet.
A shout out to
dance if you want to, and we can leave your friends
Nation's
behind.
Ladies for tuning me into the Baby Groot versus Baby.
But Baby Yoda don't dance, and if he don't dance, he ain't no baby of mine. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy! All right. When we come back, we're watching more Watchmen. Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. Just a reminder, Descendant Kickstarter kicking off November 26th. Go to sirestudiosinc.com/Kickstarter and you can help support this great book. It's an awesome book and you should do it. Watchmen Watch.
That's a heck of a pitch there, Dolce. That's a heck of a pitch.
The commercial just ran.
You should just do it.
I figured I'm just reinforcing the commercial that just ran.
You know why you should buy this? Because it's out. You should get it.
Because I'm saying it. It's subliminal marketing. All right. Watchmen, watch. Episode 5. Nice. I got to be honest with you. This is one of my favorite and least favorite episodes to date. One of my favorites because it finally... Not that it hasn't tied into the graphic novel, but it really ties into it, and it shows you the moment. I feel it. Okay, before I even tell you what I think, it actually shows you the moment where Adrian Veidt teleports the giant squid monster into New York City, which is one of the greatest page reads you'll ever get. So if you read the graphic novel, the Owl and Rorschach track Veidt down to his Antarctic base. Adrian Veidt goes through this entire monologue about why he's doing what he's doing, which was reiterated on the show a little bit in the message to President Robert Redford. And they're like, well, we got to stop you. And he's like, stop me. I did it like 35 minutes ago. And you just turn the page and then it shows New York City and then everything just hits. And it's just a tremendous, tremendous moment. So to actually see it, to have one of my favorite characters. Sort of see it, right?
Sort of see it.
To see the impact of it with all the bodies there, and to have it connect to
because you were deprived of that from the movie.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. To see it there and to have it connect to Looking Glass, which I thought, I remember watching this scene where he's getting hit on, presumably by this woman. I'm just like, nerds don't get hit on. That never happened. Oh nope, she's going to steal him stuff from him. Okay. Boy, she really took off all his clothes really easily too. I mean, I don't know what was going on with that, but anyway, to see it connected to Looking Glass,
was a virgin. That's
I guess so. I just thought it was an amazing opening scene. I also thought all the plot lines coming together. We kind of talked about it last segment with Star Wars and Last Jedi, and this is why it's upsetting me a little bit. All these plot lines are coming together. It's only the fifth line. It's only the 5th episode. It's like it doesn't have the kind of impact. It's like, and here's spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Oh, the senator is really the one running, the 7th Cavalry, and now Looking Glass is going to betray Regina King. There was not enough build up to this. It would have been awesome if that seed had been planted in episode 5, but not actualized at the very end of the episode. I feel like that, to me.
Yeah, next episode we're going to get a pastiche of the memories from Lou Gossett Jr. Apparently,
which is good. I mean, it's good. We'll get to learn all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that, to me, this show has been doing has been slowly, unraveling the onion, and
very slowly.
To me, I think they actually just
too slowly.
No, it's not too slowly.
My opinion is too slow. It's going way too slow. I told you Veidt was in space. I don't know if he's on Mars.
He's on the moon.
He's on the moon. Yeah.
And you know what's funny though? Do you know what's funny? Right, ish. But I think maybe a moon of Mars then, because they showed the moon last episode after Veidt was ready to kind of like get off there, and I'm like, did they just tell us where he is? And I think they did. I think he's clearly on.
He could be on the moon. But I knew he wasn't. He was in space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that the show it's a good show. It's a well done show. It's intriguing to an extent. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now that in my prediction, it's not gonna pay off.
It would have. That's the thing. They laid a lot of groundwork for it to pay off.
And just the fact that now you could see it at episode 5, you could see like, woo, that was a good woulda, coulda, shoulda, right moment right there. Now that you can see it, now you see the what I've been talking about the last 2 weeks. It's like, I think this is a really well-crafted story, but I don't think they have an ending for it. I don't think they have a payoff. Because look, canonically, what could the story about Lou Gossett Jr. and
that's the one name? Where I still am in the dark about, and
the woman
Lady True.
Lady True. What canonically could not have to, in order for this to really work as a great sequel to the great graphic novel, Lou Gossett Jr. and Lady True have to be revealed as a major component of that novel.
Right.
And we don't see it. Right? I mean, it could be.
That just begs the question again, though. Like, if you did not read the graphic novel, like, is this making any sense to you?
It's not making any. That's what I'm talking about. Like, looking at it completely objectively, it's completely fascinating to me. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I like what's Looking Glass? What's that guy's the actor's name? I
don't know the actor, but yeah, Looking Glass is great. He's great.
He's got 3 names. It's like it's not. He's one of those 3 name kind of.
Yeah.
And I know him, and I just can't. It's off the top of my head. Regina King, I think, is doing a great job.
Yeah. Gene Smart's great too.
Yeah. Jeremy Irons, forget it. It's
great.
he's it's effortless for him at this point.
Right.
So now I'm trying to enjoy it just for what it is, as opposed to what it's trying to lead me to.
Yeah.
But it's so busy trying to lead me around that it's not, in my opinion, and this is not going to be something that is revealed to us all until the end. So I may be absolutely right, or I may be absolutely wrong. But in my opinion, it's not laying the groundwork so that it has meat to it. It has legs to it.
Yeah.
Once the secret is revealed, once you find out that Jon Snow is a Targaryen, where do we go from here? You know, and it's a problem.
I mean, look, there are definitely still some secrets, some questions to be answered.
I'm looking forward to it. I think everybody who's watching now should continue watching. I don't think we're being robbed, duped.
They will listen to you because you just said that to do that. Remember, that's advertising. Go buy the book because it's out. Watch it because I say so.
Watch it because it's on. just freaking watch the show because it's on.
That's the
and
George
what else are you going to do?
That's the George Costanza line too.
What else are you going to do with your time?
Because it's on TV. Not yet. It's not. Yeah. Look, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, but I also
why did you hate myself.
It? No, I just loved it because I wish they played.
Squid.
I wish they played the long game with this. That to me was such. I almost wish they would have.
Well, you don't know if they're not.
I almost wish they would have started the series off with Squid and landing. But
I think if they would have done,
that was good too.
This is what other people are saying now. They're saying like one of the biggest problem with modern day storytelling is they always start in Act 3. Right. All stories start in Act 3 so that they can use Act 1 and 2 as flashbacks because that's more intriguing. Mm-hmm. But most of the stuff that we've ended up liking that has had tremendous staying power has started at Act 1. Game of Thrones started at Act 1, right?
Right.
And we followed it for 8 years until it led us into the abyss. Star Wars started at Act 1, okay, for Luke at least. Right. I mean, of course, it was revealed that there was more to it than that.
Yeah, sure,
basically,
of course.
But basically, for the Luke story, it started at Act 1. It didn't start at his birth. Mm-hmm. It didn't start when he was finally confronting Vader, and then we'll do a flashback. How did we get here? It started before he had even known what a lightsaber was, all the way up until nobody has patience for that anymore. That's why Rey was a Jedi immediately, right? That's why Kirk in the Abrams movies was an F up. And then they just gave him the Enterprise. Well, let's see what he screwed everything else up, and he cheated on this test. Let's see what he does with the flagship. So it's just this thing where we don't have the storytellers, the modern storytellers, not the audience. The storytellers don't have the patience it takes to set you up on a story, on a regular story from the beginning. Get to know these people. Get to know these characters. Get to love them because we're going to do horrible, horrible things to them in 5 minutes. That's a story. Who's your main character in this? You could argue it's Regina King, maybe, but then what's the through line again? Regina King is a cop. She had this really horrible thing happen during the White Night, so now all the cops wear masks and Sonny Crockett was the chief of police who might have been a Klansman who was hung by it's like, what? Wait a minute, just keep us on a level. You could put all this other crazy stuff in there, but keep us on a level so that we can follow it. Just because we're following it doesn't mean it's simple. But you can give us something that we can follow while you're unraveling all this other complex stuff, and they think just throw them as many questions as humanly possible. We'll just keep them thinking, and then when the season's over, it'll be critically acclaimed or whatever, and it'll justify another season, and we'll see if we can do it again. This was the same thing they did with Westworld, and then we'll take 2 years to do the next season, and it'll come out and it'll be a disaster. because nobody knows kind of what they're doing.
It's gotta
I hope
better
so.
than that.
I hope. Well, I already think Watchmen is better than season 2 of Westworld by any stretch of the
without a doubt.
Even with all the flaws I've been talking about, it's way better. It's way better than True Detective season 2 also. Okay, so I mean, it's not a bad show. I'm just saying there's no way for us to follow it, and it's merely you and I know for a fact it's merely because of intrigue, because we love the graphic novel that we're still here and we're still talking about it. I don't know how anybody else is following it. I really don't.
I'm curious as well. All right, chime in if you have not read the graphic novel. We'd love to hear it. It's on the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Only 4 episodes to go, so kind of excited. All these shows kind of coming to a head as well too, all around the same time period. So that's pretty cool. When we come back, we go spinning the racks with Heidi MacDonald of Comics Beat. Welcome back to Secrets of the Sire. We do this every week. We bring you inside the comic book world, laying the foundation for the movies and TV shows that you love. This week we have Heidi MacDonald on from Comics Beat as we go spinning the racks. Spin the rack, spin that rack. We are joined by Heidi MacDonald of Comics Beat. She's going to spin the racks with us tonight. Heidi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Naya, for inviting me on. It's great to be here. Finally,
yes,
we talked about it for a while.
We've been dodging each other in a friendly, casual way because of many mutual acquaintances. But I'm going to give you a little history real quick before we jump into the interview. Hassan and I worked at Wizard. When there was a Wizard magazine long time ago. So your name has been like there on the surface for many years. And this is kind of like a kudos to you in a way too. Like when you used to scoop Wizard in some way, shape, or form, we used to hear about it in the office. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. Like, so it's like, how did Heidi MacDonald get that? Blah blah blah.
No one's ever admitted that to me before, so that's actually really awesome. That kind of justifies my entire aughts. Really good. Good to know.
Yeah. No, we were there. Hassan was there a long time. I got out before the walls started crumbling down around it.
Yeah, I was there 10 years. 99 to 2009.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So you were, a long time ago.
Yeah. Thank
God.
We want to push it further and further back into the rear view.
Hey, a lot of great people there. A lot of great times.
The people are great.
A lot of great times.
Fantastic.
A lot of great times.
Well, that's no. Actually, the people were really awesome, and it is kind of interesting to just look at Wizard's legacy over the years, actually, and with all things '90s being so hot right now, there's sort of a little Wizard echo boom of nostalgia going on. So nostalgia tends to saw off all the rough edges and the serial numbers.
Yeah.
That's very true.
So you are the auteur of Comics Beat. It's 25 years old.
No, not 25 years old. Only 15 years old.
Oh, 15 years old. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I have been doing comics journalism for far longer than 15 years. So
yeah.
I mean, I've been around forever. And I write the song. Sorry to subject your listeners to that. Yeah.
Well, talk to us. What does it mean to celebrate 15 years as a news website?
Well, it's crazy that I'm still here. I mean, Wizard lasted as a magazine probably 20 years, I guess. But and they had a whole infrastructure and everything. For most of the 15 years, the Beat has been me. Although I've had partners along the way. The first partner was Comic-Con.com. Rick Veitch, the great writer-artist, and then Publishers Weekly, and currently Polarity, the parent company that owns Oni Lionforge and Lionforge Animation. So I've definitely had great partners. Really, I'm just amazed to be here still. That's just me. That's just my tenacity.
What was the reasons to start up the website? I mean, I know you said you were in comics journalism for a while anyway, but is it just something to kind of like be able to kind of shape the narrative in your own way, or you know,
Well,
what was the groundlings of that?
Well, I think that it kind of evolved into that a little bit, but you know, I started writing like way, way, way back, like probably before either of you were born, for the for the
Hassan
comic.
just looks young. We just celebrated our birthdays last week, and we are not as young as we appear.
Well, so did I. Are you guys Scorpios too?
We are, yes.
Ah, all right. Well, then this is really meant to be. But
actually,
anyway.
Dolce's birthday is on the 15th, and mine is on the 16th.
That's right.
On the 15th, so obviously.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That's wow.
A fellow 15. All right, I like that.
Wow. Well, you might have been very small, but anyway, when I started, I was writing for fanzines, for the Comics Journal, for the Buyer's Guide, which were kind of in the 80s, the beginning of comics journalism. I will say the Comics Journal, given its name, really kind of started it, and I wrote for them for a while. And then I went into editing comics. I worked for Disney. I worked for DC Comics, and you know, kind of did all the real, you know, corporate world of comics. And then that ended. And I mean, I like to write. I like to write about things I'm passionate about, and I'm passionate about comics. So that's really why the Beat was born. Pretty simple.
One of the things I love about the Beat, besides, first of all, I love the newsletter. In fact, last time I ran into you, I told you the newsletter is a fantastic source of information. It's just great to get everything kind of rounded up. And but your articles themselves too, I've actually complimented many of your authors who have contributed as well too. In an age where anyone can just kind of like start a blog, or you know, pick up a Wix site to do stuff, you guys, I mean, it's genuine, and it shows that you guys are legitimately doing journalism, as opposed to just you know, starting a blog. I mean, what's, you know, when people contribute with you, what's the level of quality that you expect from everyone, and how difficult is it in today's world of clickbait headlines to be a journalist versus just, I guess, an entertainer?
Well, Mike, first off, thank you very much for the very kind words. It's definitely appreciated. You know, this is a fairly thankless task of writing about comics, but so every little bit helps, believe me. As far as finding contributors, I find that the Beat kind of draws its own people. The way that I have run the site and the tone that I set for the site tends to attract a certain kind of mentality or certain kind of approach to comics. So pretty much everyone has the same kind of inquisitive nature. You know, the buzzwords that I use are authenticity and authoritative, but it's also just, you know, being passionate about the material, and everybody really cares about it. We've kind of expanded our coverage to cover entertainment as well. But I find that, honestly, there are so many clickbait sites that just regurgitate all the headlines. And, you know, we actually do analysis. Like, we throw our own opinions in, and we talk about, you know, just this morning, or excuse me, on Monday morning, I wrote about the Snyder Cut. I mean, over the weekend, all this stuff about the Snyder Cut. And so, you know, I was able to write a piece about it, but it wasn't just, you know, that Gal Gadot tweeted and Ray Fisher tweeted about it. I traced it all the way to when Diane Nelson tweeted. And for me, that was that was really earth-shaking that Diane Nelson, the former head of DC Entertainment, had weighed in on this and had all these comments about Zack Snyder. And it really looked to me like, wow, I really want to read this book someday, man. Someone's gonna write this book. Holy crap. But anyway, I think that's how we avoid clickbait. I think we avoid clickbait by actually writing things that are interesting and unique and fresh.
That's awesome. One of the things, it's funny, you kind of bring up DC. One of the stories I followed that you guys were writing about was DC's presence at Comic-Con this year, and just in general, and kind of how it changed. Talk to our listeners a little bit about that and what you kind of experienced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, with DC Comics. Well, I mean, you know, they're going through these huge changes, and you know, the booth, that was the big news. I mean, there's all these corporate marketing people have come in and said, oh, this is not the way to do it. And inevitably they don't understand what the special tribal nature of comics is. So, DC had this gigantic booth that anchored the whole comic section of the San Diego Comic-Con, and they'd been grandfathered into this massive booth. And, Warner Brothers says, to be fair, they have new owners, AT&T.
Yep.
They have a whole new head, Pam Lifford. They have a whole division of marketing, experiencing, branding, licensing. I forget what the name is. It's so many buzzwords. But, they come in and they hire these people to shake things up. And they say, oh, we don't need a booth in the middle of the comics. We need a booth in the middle of the entertainment section. Or actually in the very corner where you have to, fight your way through. So, yeah, DC had this very different booth that you couldn't interact with. And you couldn't just go. Like, normally, if you go hang out in the DC booth at San Diego, it's just where everybody is. Like, celebrities. Yeah. Nerd celebrities, reporters, you just hang out there and you just meet everyone. And not anymore. You couldn't even get close to the booth. And, I don't know if I wrote this on the beat or not, but I always give little tidbits when I podcast. But another big change for DC at San Diego this year was that normally they have a big party. Yeah. This year they just had everybody got drinks at the tiki bar. So, yeah, that was a little bit harsh also.
So this is my old man, get off my lawn question. But I got the best birthday gift last week, which was from a good friend of mine. He actually gave me his copy of Spectacular Spider-Man 157, which was the first Spider-Man book he ever bought in 6th grade, in which case he lent it to me, and that was the first Spider-Man comic I ever read. And so he gave that to me as a birthday gift, and I thought, wow, it was an amazing birthday gift. Reading through it, it reminded me, I feel like, how much better comics were back then. Are you? I'm doing my old man on the, get off my lawn. My comics were better than your comics today because I'm reading through some of the Spider-Man books today, and I'm just like, it's not unreadable, but it's I don't know. It's not my Spider-Man. Do you have the same feeling, or do you think we're in good shape in terms of the the comic book industry and the way comics are written today versus or maybe even the way they're edited today versus the way they were edited back then?
Well, I think, I certainly understand that everybody thinks that the comics that they read when they were kids are the best comics. Okay? I hate, again, to show my age, I bought Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man #1 off the rack at the 7-Eleven. So, my first Spider-Man issue was like, you know what? I don't even remember the number, but it had the Punisher, and it was drawn by Ross Andrew. And you know what? That was the greatest comic of all time.
Yeah.
Like, you take all the rest. That was the best comic of all time because it was my first Spider-Man comic. So, I'll tell you, I think comics are actually as good as ever. There may be times that have matched them, but probably the best time ever for comics because there's so many graphic novels coming out. Comics for kids are flourishing. We have way more diversity among the people making comics. We have so many more female creators. We have so many more queer creators. We have so many more creators of color. And just, all different kinds of creators. And they're all getting their visions out there. They're doing graphic novels. Now, Mike, if you're talking about the periodical or the pamphlet or the floppy, choose your derogatory term for it.
We like floppies.
Floppies. All right, I like floppy too. When you were buying your floppies, guess what? I just don't see kids picking up periodicals now.
I know.
And I feel like the wonder that you and I felt. Where did you buy that? Or so that was your first comic, but where did you?
Stationery store.
A stationery store. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think my first comic, Marvel comic that I bought for myself was at a food town.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's something we lament all the time is that you have to if you want comics, you literally really have to make a concerted effort to go and get a comic, to find a comic book store. Sometimes they're not always the most inviting of places.
They used to be on newsstands. They used to be everywhere when we were coming up. You could just find it on every corner or every street corner. Candy shops,
Yeah, newsstands, literal newsstands on the corner. Yeah, but you have to search for everything now because brick and mortar retailing is endangered. And so, look, there's no more Toys R Us anymore.
I know.
But there
That's
are
true.
comic shops. So what does that tell you? I mean, there's more comic shops than there are toy stores now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there is something, yeah, right? There is to it that there's buying things that you hold in your hand and read that's still very attractive. But I honestly, look, I mean, I don't know if you've talked about this on your show, but there's all these rumors about DC is going to do a new reboot, right? Have you guys talked about this?
We have talked about it briefly, yes. Because rumors we can't. Well, yeah, we've talked about it briefly.
Look, I want to tell you, these rumors have been confirmed for me at the highest levels. Okay, so this is what the plan is. But by the time it actually happens, it is going to be a bit different. But you know, they're planning this new 5G. It's not going to be called 5G. They're planning this new revamp of DC Comics, like they do every few years. Whether it's like New 52 or, you know, what was the last one? I can't even remember. There've been so many, you know. But you know, Marvel just they can't even think of new names. It's like you know, Marvel Plus or whatever. But you know, are these comics honestly? I mean, are these, from what I'm hearing, are these comics going to be like you could pick them up if you're going to send your, you know, 8-year-old, 11-year-old, 13-year-old kid to buy this comic and read it? Are they really going to be captivated by it? I don't know. I don't know that they are. You know, and I think it's fine to have comics for adults. And, you know, we certainly have great comics for adults still, some of them written like 40 years ago. But, you know, I think kids still love comics. They're just not getting them in the floppy format.
Yeah. No, it's very true. It's a completely different world in terms of that, in terms of especially the YA centric graphic novels, which are huge now. That's like the biggest growing area in comics right now, from what I'm reading. It is a different ballpark, but still, our comics were better. Real quick, what you mentioned a lot of diverse creators. What are you reading right now that just has you going? You know, that gets you there every month.
So you know what? Well, I don't read periodical comics, but when I do, I probably read it if it's written by Brian K. Vaughan. I'm probably reading.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm like way super behind on my reading, to be honest, and I've been reading a lot of graphic novels. So, but you know, there's
what's on the stack right now?
Okay, well, there's a new book by Eleanor Davis called The Hard Tomorrow. That's, you know, she's one of our greatest cartoonists, and it's kind of based on her own life, but it takes like she takes her own life and fictionalizes it and dramatizes it, makes it even more interesting. You know, that's really great. I mean, a book that this came out a while ago was Clyde Fans by Seth. Both these books are published by Drawn and Quarterly, so I'm really stacking the deck here. But Clyde Fans by Seth, it just to me is a masterpiece about the disintegration of mid-century American culture, even though it's set in Canada. But you know, one book that I have been reading to catch up, and this is another oldie. I mean, I'm definitely catching up on all my reading because I travel so much. I haven't had a lot of time. But you know, I've really been enjoying the TV show, so I was kind of catching up on The Boys. That was
okay, yeah.
What a good book that is, and the TV show is so well done.
Yeah,
and it really works. And let's see, I'm trying to think of what else. You know. I mean, I should have a better list. I better go back to these comics. I need to get my list. I'm making my best of 2019 list, as a matter of fact, right as we're speaking. So that's what I'm getting back.
Awesome.
So I better get back on it. So
awesome. Well, I will not keep you. I have one more question for you, and that is, what is the story you are most proud of that you broke?
The story that I'm the most proud. Oh, well, I know I did not write this. This is definitely where I found someone who wrote something great. But my friend Brett Schenker, who actually does the website Graphic Policy, told me that he'd been doing all this Facebook research that showed that about 40% of the readership of comics was female, and which is, of course, mind-boggling. I guess this story came out about 6 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
And so he wrote a story where he took all the Facebook demographics and, you know, put it out there on the beat. And I mean, just people couldn't believe it. They're like, oh, well, you know, these numbers are slanted, you know, the sample size is too small. And I'm like, you know, this is what Facebook does for a living. I mean,
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, their sample size is 1 million, or, you know, 1 billion people. So right, it's a very small sample size. So I so enjoyed, and that really became like a post that people link to when they're trying to show that I really honestly feel that the idea that comics are just for boys is really faded away. It's
That's
like,
antiquated now.
it's
I mean,
yeah, it's that lying dead in the corner, pretty much like a mouse got caught in the mousetrap. But but at the time when this story came out, it really just this is pre-Comicsgate, so it just got everybody like,
It
no,
exploded.
it can't be.
well, Heidi, I could honestly pick your brain for a good hour, but you have work to do.
I do.
And we call this work, but it's really not work. So thank you so much for coming on, and do not be a stranger. We'd love to have you on next year as well too.
All right.
And I say that because next year's like less than 2 months
Couple
away.
of weeks away, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well,
Then the Roaring Twenties are coming back.
Oh my God! I'm gonna cut my hair short for sure and get a fringe on my dress. Yeah, Mike Hassan, it's really great talking to you. I really appreciate being on the show, and keep doing good stuff.
Thank you, guys. Thank you
you
so much. All right, next
Happy
week
birthday.
we've got Brian Volkweis from The Toys That Made Us will be joining us next week. We'll see you all then. Secrets of the Sire.